Hello, hello, Guardians. I am Ransom Rider, and today we're inside of Destiny 2. I'm hanging out with Anubu, and Fallen Hero is here. We're going to be shedding a little bit of light on a phenomenal player who has a lot to say about the game, who has a long history in the game. Anubu, if you watch my live stream and my content, we have played together before. We go into some of the more difficult things, and he helps lift me up. Sometimes, Guardians, you can find yourself in a situation where things may be difficult, and you may need a Guardian to lend a hand. And Anubu has always been willing to lend a hand. Anubu, welcome to the War Table chat today. This is a series of chats where we talk to Guardians that have something to say. And some of you have expressed interest. Many of you I've spoken with. Do send me a note if you have something to say and you want to be at the War Table chat. I am 100% for it. Anubu, tell us a little bit about yourself, your history in Destiny.
Oh, wow. Well, hi everyone. I'm Anubu. My real name's Adam, so if you, I don't care. You can call me either. But I have been playing Destiny since the D1 beta back in 2014, and I guess I'll just start with that. Why I got into Destiny because my brother. I remember he showed me the original reveal trailer, and I saw a hunter with a really big hand cannon. I was like, that's the character I want to play. And I ended up playing the beta, and actually didn't like it at first. I thought it was really boring, and so I didn't buy it when it came out. But I think it was maybe November of 2014, and my brother had to go to practice, and he was doing Vault of Glass at the time, and he was like, I obviously played video games, and he asked me, he's like, can you play for me? And they were at Atheon, so I hop in there, and there's five other people in there, and I'm not talking because I'm a little 12-year-old, a little squeaker, and I was just, we didn't complete it, but for 2 hours we just ran it over and over again, and I thought it was the most fun thing I'd ever played. And so after that day, I knew I had to get it, and I got it for Christmas that year, and the rest was history.
Now, Anubu, you have given us a lot of information right up front. So you were age 12 when you started, so that would put you
Correct.
somewhere in your early 20s right now.
I'm 21. I'll be 22 in a couple
All
months.
right, and you do have like you could definitely step in for a Darth Vader style character because you've got
I
a
I
deep,
yeah.
impactful voice.
I got my voice changed. I think it was the year after that actually, because I'd already started making some friends like in the first year of Destiny that I still play with today, and my voice was super high pitched, and then the year later it was extremely deep. So it was a little bit of whiplash for them, but I'm
Well, I
thankful for my
love
voice.
it. And I thought you were older. You and I have discussed this before because I was really surprised at your age because you have the presence, your voice has the presence of someone that may be like in their 40s and had a few cigars,
I
out
have been
back.
called 40 years old before, so it's nothing new. I can find it funny, so
Now,
I get it
I
though.
love the fact that you've revealed you started on beta. It is surprising to me how many people that I have bumped into in the game that are long term players. When you look back on your Destiny career, if you had to pick one moment now, Anubu,
Wow.
what is your best memory of the most fantastic moment inside this game? Choose one.
Wow. Oh my. This is I there's a lot, but there's one that's immediately jumping to mind for me, and that was when I cleared my first day one raid in the Deepstone Crypt. Because I feel like that moment it it came down to the wire. So it was I had me and two of my friends, and then we found these three other guys that we found on LFG, and they were pretty cool. But one of them I had to leave for the military the next day, and it was, I don't know, maybe 2 a.m. And so this was the last attempt we had. And if we failed it, he had to go, and we wouldn't have had a teammate, so we would have just not completed it. Because that was back when it was still 24 hours. And I actually do have it recorded the moment we killed him, but it literally came down to a single golden gun shot before he wiped us. And the screams of joy in our voices from completing that, it basically changed the course of like my Destiny career, because that proved to me that I was good enough to do this hard content. And I basically, ever since then, up until Salvation's Edge, obviously, I completed all the day ones, but I think that is my favorite moment.
All right, pause right there, Anubu. You have completed every day one raid, with the
From
exception of our current Salvation's Edge. You've got those emblems, those titles, those triumphs.
Well, from Deepstone Crypt to Crota's End, not before that, so I don't have Crown of Sorrow.
Because you weren't even 12 years old. You hadn't hit your teen years yet. So
Yeah.
it's a huge accomplishment, a huge
Yeah.
accomplishment. Now looking, let's go to the other side of that. That was your best moment. What do you consider your low point, or the low point of the game? You can go into like a personal experience, or just a portion of the game that you weren't happy with or didn't play as much. What's your worst moment in the game, Anubu?
Wow. I feel like there's a lot of avenues I could take. I'll save the Salvation's Edge story for later, but I think the worst. I think it's got to be, for me, it was last November with the Bungie layoffs and the final shape delay. I've never felt so like demoralized about this game, because I mean, you're reaching the apex of the storyline. The 10 years have built up to that moment, and like community morale was just so low. Like, we expected the DLC to be terrible. The Bungie fired 100 employees. Like, revenue wasn't good. The game was in a bad state, and it just felt horrible about the game. And luckily, we know now that they did put their heads down and they managed to make one of the best DLCs they've ever made. But at that time, it was bad.
So your worst moment would be, and that, chat, just so you know, if you're listening to this at a later date, Anubu refers to the year 2022, when we were given really some bad news in a bad portion where we didn't feel real lively about the game anyway, and then we got that bad news that it was being delayed. I hear you, Anubu, and I too was like, oh no, all this bad stuff is happening. But it really, turned out to be better. Like Anubu said, we got fantastic content. They put their heads down, they grouped together, and they delivered. I'm sure they wore out the numbers and the letters on their keyboards, pounding to make sure that we got this stuff. And I'm excited and glad they did. What's been your biggest surprise inside of Destiny 2?
Biggest surprise. Oh, wow. I think I'm gonna go ahead and say Forsaken, the whole expansion, because like I had still played Destiny 2 like when it launched, even though it wasn't like great. I'd still played it on and off, and I didn't have high expectations for Forsaken, but I was just blown away for what, like, the raid, 2 destinations. Gambit was super fun when it came out. The weapon systems, all the new supers. It was like, I think it was just the most shocking, like, expansion. I think
Anubu, I am so glad you said that, because Forsaken shook things up. It changed things. It delivered in a way that few games can. I was tormented, tortured, happy, thrilled. The Dreaming City, the chase for the weapons, the Last Wish raid, which, I think there was maybe like just a few people in the world, 11 or 12 people ended up getting like that day one for that one, right? It was super few, the people that got that.
Yeah, I think it was 2 teams.
And there is a war table chat with one of the people that wears that emblem banner proudly. But it changed. One of the thrills for me was going into the Dreaming City and seeing it different every week.
Yes.
It was a thrill for me. It was a thrill for me. The only slight disappointment that I had in it was I wanted Riven to look different. I wanted more of an Asian influenced dragon, and what we got was really a monster. Misunderstood monster, though. So that you loved it, Anubu.
I do have one more. I completely forgot. Forsaken was just so big that the whole concept of a dungeon came out of nowhere. Like they just surprise launched that
Shattered
3
Throne.
weeks into the DLC. Shattered Throne.
Did you find it by mistake, or did you find it through a content creator live streamer?
I remember seeing like a tweet, and it was like, I just found this brand new activity, like because it was like right at the reset, and like someone was like, I have no idea what it is. It just loaded me into a new area, and so then more people started talking about it, and then I was like, I got on, and I had to go see it. And it was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. I did not stumble onto it. I was close that day. I got back there, but me and some fellow players actually saw the tweet. We read about it in social media, and man, we were on it. And at that final boss up in the tower, I think that's like Savathun's daughter.
Dolan,
man, she was rough and tough because we were all under leveled when we got there. And I remember working on that till like 1 a.m. in the morning, and just when we finally got it, it was like yes, she's gone. We took her down. Right now, inside the game of Destiny 2, what would you like to see tweaked or improved?
Ooh, wow. I do have a laundry list. I don't know. I won't bore you with them all, and I don't have them all memorized.
Well, give me like two. Give me your top two.
Off the top of my head, I want hard mode, like actual hard mode raids to come back, where the mechanics change and the armor is slightly different. There's ornaments. I just master mode is really. It feels artificially difficult, and it's not fun. Whereas Destiny 1 hard modes were
now explain
more
that,
interesting.
Anubu. I know I hear you and understand what you're saying, but for our audience, give us a little more detail on what you mean by that.
So, Destiny 1, like the hard modes, it was you could not when you died. There was no resurrection. Like you were just dead. So your team then had to work around that death. And I know some of the raids in D2 are more built to where you can't do that, but so maybe not that exactly, but I think changing the mechanics from normal to hard mode gives more of a challenge to the more experienced players, because normal just feels like too easy for when you know what you're doing and you have a set team, but master mode is, for me, it's not fun to play. Like, it's not a fun experience. Hard mode in D1 was fun, and you were actually rewarded with unique armor that people would see. They would see you in like the tower, and they're like, "Wow, this guy did hard mode. He's got these really cool, unique ornaments on."
Yeah.
Or like you're like the Vault of Glass in Age of Triumph. Like you had Vex Harpy or Goblin legs or something.
And Anubu, there was like a wow. We are in the presence of a Destiny god. Anubu, you didn't move your controller. Come back, Anubu. Come back.
I need an invite.
I'll give you an invite. Now, chat is saying, what about self-res, Anubu? Were you pulled back
Ooh,
in D1 with self-res? Did anybody
yeah.
self-res you?
I I was actually, fun fact, I was my first year of Destiny 1, I was a warlock. And then for Taken King and Rise of Iron, I was a hunter. So I wasn't really in that self-res boat, but
Okay.
I do remember having a couple warlocks. I kind of forgot that existed.
We
It was a
we
little
had a
broken.
self-res warlock on our team, and I'm gonna say when the plague lands hit and the Iron Lords, there were times where we needed self-res. We needed the self-res.
Yeah.
Guardians, thank you for hanging out with us. This is a conversation with the Nubu. Fallen Hero is here for team support. Thank you, Fallen Hero. That kitty cat was phenomenal. I could hear it. There's no that is in the game meowing. It's not my
Yep.
kitty cat. She's downstairs. Um,
And
if someone came up to you in the real world or you met them online, but real conversations, and they said to you, I'm thinking about becoming a Destiny player, how would you respond?
oh, that's funny actually. I because I actually was asked this by my girlfriend a couple weeks ago, and I told her no to stay
I'm
away from
excited to
Destiny
hear this because,
because
start that over again. What did you tell her, Anubu?
so I told her no because I I know how the rabbit hole that Destiny can lead you down. Because if you get started, there's no going back. You're gonna be consumed, and it's gonna take over your life, and it can be bad because you have actual things to do, and then all you want to do is run a raid. And because I was guilty of this, I mean, I have 5,000 hours on Steam alone in Destiny 2. So I know a thing or two about this game taking over your life, and I, I don't as much as I love it, I don't know if I want another person to just be consumed by the game, unless they have really strong will. But it's addicting.
Well,
It's an
now
addicting
you're
game.
saying you don't want another person that's directly involved in your life consumed by the game.
True, because then that's less time I get to spend with her. 'Cause,
Right.
well, I mean, I can play Destiny, but I'd rather spend time in real life instead of in a raid. But hey,
Tell us, you mentioned earlier, thank you for hanging out with us, chat. And if you're watching this on video after the live stream, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, thumbs up, and share this with your friends because Anubu is really, opening up in this conversation. What is something that you would want the people watching this right now to know about you?
wow, about me, I don't think I'm that special, but um, wow, I don't know. I mean, I'm always down to help people, and I don't know. I get a lot of joy out of seeing people's like reactions or when they get something they want, when they finally complete a raid. That's just like that's like satisfying. It's kind of what I live for in this game. It's not so much the loot for me. It's like the satisfaction of talking to people and just having a good time with people.
Guardians, I can say that earlier in today's live stream, if you are watching just the War Table chat, we have been playing together today. And Anubu said, Ransom, if you don't get to go with We Don't Work Weekends, myself and my group, we would love to have you. And now, I don't forget about stuff like that. I make a mental note, and some of those things I'm
Good.
really good about remembering because there will come a day when I will call on you, Anubu, and I can say that every time I've invited Anubu, he's answered the call because we push back the darkness here on my show. We don't put up with any of it. We push it back. Give me. We touched on this earlier, but what are your three favorite games? Pick me three that you absolutely love that are your favorites.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, we'll just start off. Obviously, Destiny. 10 years of my life. I bet it better be my top three if I'm going to play it for that long and for so many hours. But self-explanatory, obviously. My number two, said this earlier, but it's got to be Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls
It's
3.
it's a challenging game, just beautiful art, beautiful music, great design, satisfying. I can't get enough. I replay it constantly.
Now, is that
But
the one that was set like, and it looked like an old world London, England setting?
that is Bloodborne.
Oh, that's
a different
Bloodborne.
game.
Okay.
Yes.
I get
Dark
some of
Souls
these
is
dark games
yeah.
confused, but
There's
Bloodborne.
quite a bit of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one and two. Third?
Third is my whole childhood. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's this game called Little Big Planet 2. It was on the PlayStation 3, and it was like sandbox. It was a 2D platformer sandbox game, but players could create their own levels and create their own outfits, and you're playing as this little like cute little Sackboy guy. And I played the game for years, just playing all these like created levels, and it's like just such a deep part of my childhood, and the music in it it's something else. I like, if you ever have time, I would listen to the soundtrack to Little Big
I
Planet.
vaguely remember that because I've had all the PlayStations and the Xboxes, and even though I was like in my career through a lot of those versions
Yeah.
of the consoles, and I didn't get to play because I traveled. It was here for family and friends to play that stuff, and I kind of vaguely remember that game. But I will listen to the soundtrack because gaming has really given us some of the best music that's undiscovered, except for
Yep.
that section of society that does game, and we have privy to some of the most beautiful music. I'm glad you mentioned that, Anubu.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to save for the last your thoughts about the current raid, but I want to go into some of these things that are just general information. What is your favorite movie?
Oh man. Oh man. I There's like four, but I will just say nothing will ever beat. I don't think anything can beat The Dark Knight for me. I think it is just,
Now, are you
perfect
grouping
villain.
the trilogy, or are you just
I'm
saying
just-
that one
just,
movie?
Just The Dark Knight.
Just The
the
Dark Knight.
second movie. I obviously Heath Ledger Joker, one of the greatest villain portrayals ever. It's just I don't know.
And Christian
Perfect movie
Bale,
to me.
now, he was
Christian
phenomenal there. Christian Bale
Yes.
was phenomenal. Heath Ledger, Christian Bale. So that is your favorite all-time movie.
Yep, I think
And
that's
how
my
many
number
times
one.
have you seen that?
Uncountable, to be honest.
You
I don't
have
even
that on
know.
repeat in your home on the big screen.
Yes, if it's not playing at some point, it's just. Though I do love the Batman movie. That one's very close for me.
With Robert
I think-
Pattinson.
Yes.
I liked it too. I liked it. I
It's
did not
right up
expect to
there.
like that Anubu, but I liked it, and I'm looking forward to hopefully what they're going to
Yes.
do with the next one. I felt like, because I initially thought Robert Pattinson, he's a pretty boy. How can he
Yeah.
possibly bring anything depth into Batman? And boy, was I
He did.
proven wrong, and I was glad to be proven wrong about
Yes.
that. Your favorite TV show?
Ooh. I. It's between Gravity Falls and Game of Thrones, two polar opposite shows, but I think I'm gonna go Game of Thrones. I
And
just
I loved Gravity Falls.
see, you know what I'm talking about.
But
Amazing.
Game of Thrones twisted my insides up, and
Yes,
Anubu,
the
Joffrey,
twist.
I've never hated a character
Oh,
like that.
absolutely, most satisfying end.
I cannot even look at a picture of him online without feeling hatred well up inside of me.
I'm the same way.
I
I'm-
just glance that actor, and I'm like, ugh. And I know Guardians. I do separate, the actor from the character that they play, but I have difficulty with him because I just get a little bit of tinge of Joffrey in there, and I'm like, I never want to look at that picture. Get that off my screen.
Yes.
So yeah, I understand about your choices for sure. Now, if you picked a favorite NPC, non-playable character inside of Destiny 2, who's your favorite NPC?
Oh wow. Okay. Um, I don't know if this is. I don't know if this is basic, but I gotta go Zavala. I just feel like. I mean, obviously Lance Reddick was passed away, but he's just been this rock in the story. Like he's always there, and he's always just kind of like the what's the right word for this? Like he's like the eye of the storm, you know? Like he's always there, and it's always the calming, like especially with Lance's voice. But I also really do like Keith David's voice performance for him in Final Shape. But I just feel like you always have him. You can always go back to him, and he's always just this solid character within the story.
Now, I find that interesting, Anubu, and I won't, because I've discussed this in my live stream, with the current content that we have. When Savala put his finger into the darkness, what were your thoughts?
I so I think for people who weren't reading lore books, I think it definitely would have come off a little like why would he do that? But he's been questioning the light. If you were paying attention, he's been questioning it for years now, ever since Beyond Light. He's kind of lost faith in the Traveler, and he's kind of thought, like especially when he found out that Savathun was gifted the light in the Witch Queen, like he had started not so much turn, but he had started to think maybe the dark wasn't as bad, which we do know the dark itself is not inherently
It's the
bad.
wielder, not
Yes,
the power.
exactly. But so it was definitely a turn, but I
Now,
do think it was in character.
Anubu, something you said there caught my attention about Savathun, who's absolutely one of my favorite characters ever. Did she earn it, or was it given to her?
I don't
You
know.
said given to her, but did she earn it?
I I mean, I guess kind of. I mean the Guardian's motto with devotion, bravery, sacrifice, and death. I maybe she did. I don't know. She's a complex character.
We're gonna save that, Guardians. I want to come back and what Anubu said. Earned, given, complex character, and we followed a path that Savathun laid for us. Perhaps 1,000 years ago. Everything she laid out for us. Did we ever deviate from anything that she had said, this is what they're going to do, this is when they're going to do it, this is how it's going to happen? Did we ever step away from the path that she put down for us, Anubu?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, she definitely has had. I don't know if she had everything. I don't know if she's had everything planned out. I mean, we definitely played into her hands with
Every
when
move
she was
we
taking over with Osiris and that.
Anubu, I want to reserve the right to live stream and talk with you about Savathun and
Alrighty.
your thoughts about her past, her
I'd be
present, her
down.
future inside the game. I don't want to go in depth about it, but do you think we'll ever be ripping the wings off of the Witch Queen's back?
I hope so. Though she did help us, but
But she told
maybe,
us recently something that let us know where we stand. in
Yeah.
game. She told us in game a couple things, but I'm reserving the right to recall
I
you to discuss
Yes,
Savathun.
I'd be happy to. But I
Okay.
think we'll get some shocking revelations in the Heresy episode. So,
If you choose a character, I know this answer, but I want our audience to hear it from you. Warlock, Hunter, or Titan?
Titan all day.
Titan
No
all
other
day,
choice for me.
every day. You know, there's no other choice, Guardians. I know there's millions of hunters out there, and I applaud you because I love a hunter on a team. I love a warlock on a team. And I will say to all of you warlocks, there's just a few of you out there. If you make your warlock sing, I applaud you. And the warlock can truly be a battlefield machine in the hands of the right guardian. So I applaud you. But I'm a Titan, Anubu Titan. Leave me a message. What do you play the most on? What is your favorite? Now, here's a really serious question for you, and I know because of your experience and what you have revealed to us, this is important to you. Your favorite gamer foods.
Oh wow. Oh man. Gamer foods. Peanut butter Cliff Bar is that's my go-to raid snack. Actually, anytime I'm playing games, I pretty much eat one every day. I don't know why I love them so much, but
Now, the
huge
peanut
fan.
butter Cliff Bar, is that its official name?
Yeah, well, it's a Cliff Bar, but
Oh,
the
Cliff
flavor is
Bar.
peanut
And we're
butter.
not sponsored. We're just
Not
chatting.
sponsored,
We're just chatting.
unfortunately. Please feel free
Is
to sponsor
and
me.
you when you're rating, you have those handy
Oh, absolutely. I ate like four of them during Salvation's Edge.
for during Salvation's Edge. Anything else that you would like to keep handy?
Um,
What do you drink while you're gaming?
well, I used to be huge on energy drinks, but I've gone cold turkey and cut those out. So I'll drink coffee, but it's usually just like a Sprite Zero. Really like Sprite Zero. But
Sprite
I mostly
Zero,
just stick to water.
water. I drink
Um,
Titan water, water with lemon.
yep, Titan water.
Now console, PC, what Xbox? What are you on? PS5. What do you play on?
Well, I started on Xbox, and I was out or the start of Destiny. I started on Xbox until Shadowkeep. I got a PC and have not gone back since because it's just so much mouse and keyboard for me. I just feel like I can do so much more in the
Anubu,
game.
I switched over last year to a PC, and I have to say it made me a better player. I mean, it really did.
The frames. I remember when you switched. I was very happy because it's you don't understand like how much of a difference it makes until you actually experience it.
Yeah, it's amazing, Guardians. The difference, and I run PS5s here, like in the game room downstairs. There's PS5s. In my bedroom, PS5, but in my studio, it's definitely a PC, and it is difficult. I hate to say this because I know millions of you are on console. It is difficult to go back and play on a console after you've played on a good PC. It just really
Yes.
is. It just has a different feel, and I truly am a better gamer. I get more headshots, more critical hits. It's just better. Now, we have reserved for last. If you're still hanging out with me, this is Anubu, and he's an exceptional guardian in every way. And by guardian, I mean he stands up for the people of the last city. He's fighting for what's right. He pushes back the darkness. And I am thrilled to have him here at the war table. Thank you for hanging out with us. Be sure to give a
Absolutely.
like, subscribe, thumbs up. It helps the channel. It keeps Destiny alive and going strong. We need players. We need lots of players. Earlier today during the live stream, and you mentioned it briefly during the war table chat about the current raid. What are your thoughts? Tell us. Start. What do you think about it? What are your current thoughts? How did you feel about the competition mode? Hit us.
Well, I really like the raid. I think it's easily one of the better. I would say top five raids they've ever made. To be honest, I mean, simply for the fact that it's five encounters. Because I think the four encounter raids. I mean, it was predictable, and I was expecting a four encounter raid when I was doing the day one, and when we found out there was a fourth encounter before the witness, it made me really. I knew that they really cared about this raid, and I liked the variety in it. Like there was shared mechanics, but um, it felt different each encounter. I think my only gripe I think is probably with the final boss. I think the witness was, I don't want to say weak, but like the mechanic, it can pretty much just be done by a single person, and everyone else is kind of ad clear. And while the damage phase is really fun, I felt like more could have been done with it, especially being the big bad. But other than that, it's one of the better, higher rated raids for me. As for the contest mode, I think that was one of the best contest experiences. I mean, it was challenging, and each encounter was satisfying to clear. And while I didn't finish the final boss, which I'm sure we'll talk about here in a second, but it was still one of the best experiences, one of the best day one experiences I've ever had.
And who did you go in with? Was it a hand picked team that you took in with you,
Yes,
Anubu?
it was a hand forged team. It was we had been we fluctuated a couple members, but for Salvation's Edge, it was me, and you've played with most of them, but me, Prince, I think you did Pantheon with him, Yasha's Q, Wicked, and then it was actually my brother. He goes by Eggs, but he was our sixth member because another one of our members had stopped playing Destiny at the time. So it's kind of a really fun team, and we're pretty solid.
And you do you have in that team? Are there a lot of day one raiders or competition
Yeah.
raiders?
Um, I, me and Prince we've done every day one we've completed together. And then obviously other members were picked up along the way. Like Q, we've done most of them with, and then Yachas, we did them all. He's done Vow, King's Fall, Crota, and Root of Nightmares with, and then my brother we did Crota and Root of Nightmares with. So,
And Anubu, you are correct in saying, I have played with many of the folks that you speak about, and everybody that
yes.
I've played with has always, brought the ingredients to bake the cake. They've always been phenomenal, and I appreciate you because I know you have had a hand in, keeping those people in line and state of the art and keeping them sharp on their abilities, and they all bring what they need to the table to be successful. You now, so did you finish within that timeline of competition mode?
Unfortunately not. The streak was broken with this raid. Now, there's a lot of factors that played into it. Um, we were pretty much with the top couple teams. Like we were one of the first teams to reach Verity along with them. But obviously the Verity encounter with the puzzles, the White Room, was safe to say a nightmare for everyone. I call it the White Room simply because I've never been driven to insanity. I mean, if you go back and watch my stream highlights from that moment, we were losing our mind. Like, we were playing like rat noises and just it was chaos because no, we weren't making progress and we could not figure this. It just felt so complex because there was no like indicators of how deep you were going and how well you were doing. But we stayed up till 5 a.m. that first day to trying to complete it until I had tried to get everyone off at about 2 a.m. because we weren't no progress was being made. No other team was making progress, so we were just kind of wasting time. But we ended up staying up till 5 until I made the call to we need to go sleep because nobody had solved it at that point. So we got up at 11, and I think our team had cleared it maybe an hour and a half, like before we had got back on. So then we went back in. We cleared it about 2 o'clock. I think we were in there for another couple hours until we finally cleared the Verity. And then obviously went to the witness. And unfortunately at 8 o'clock, Q had to leave for work. And that we had gotten to the point where we had figured out the mechanics pretty much, but we just had to keep kind of throwing our head against the wall.
You had to fine-tune your approach.
Yes,
right?
It was all about fine-tuning. That's all day ones are. Once you know what you're doing, it's just fine-tuning, not dying, and perfecting, which is the satisfying part. But we lost out on about 4.5 hours of doing that until she got back from work. And so then we were on a bigger time crunch, and my brother had to run a marathon the next day at like 11 a.m. And so about 4 a.m. I just made the call because obviously we're all exhausted. We barely slept the night before, and we just were not getting it down because just how tired we were. And I just made the call that we were done, which was unfortunate. And I think had we managed our time better, I think we would have actually. I know we would have had it because we were good enough. We had gotten 2 damage phases down, but we just ran out of lives.
Right.
So all we needed was a couple more hours, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But I think I still had a ton of fun, and I guess
and
it's
you
that
got
learning
him
experience.
a few hours after that, right? Anubu,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
got him.
Yep.
And then
fell.
did you
He
go
fell
in
eventually.
immediately to the 12-man event? What did you do?
Yeah, so I waited. I made sure to wait until after we killed the witness in the raid to do the excision, just because I wanted to do it, like the story, like as if we were the ones who took down the witness, because that's more fun to me. But yes, I did excision right after, and
But you
it was
overall, you do enjoy the raid, and you've gone back in
Yes.
multiple times. And
Yep.
will you have the Sherpa title eventually for that raid?
I think so. I'm working towards it.
Okay. Now,
Master
a
Paladin.
question. This is my final question. Well, almost final. Almost final. the emote that you're in, the chair, the toast.
Yes,
Should it be gate kept?
I think so. I'm not too much of a gatekeeper, but I mean, if you didn't play the Spire of Stars raid, I don't feel like you did. You didn't.
You know,
didn't
it's
earn
so
it.
funny, Anubu, because there's one thing every single person at the war table, some maybe it didn't make the official war table video release. Some of them did. Every single guardian that had it said yes, gatekeep it. It should not become available again. It's kind of amazing. I don't know. I'm with you, Anubu. I'm like, this thing, gatekeep it, put it in a deep, dark vault somewhere, and never let it be out again because you earned it, I earned it, we've got it, and I have never taken it off from the day
Yes.
that I got it till now. But it's kind of interesting. Why are we all that way? Is it
Well-
because the Spire of Stars, or I mean, what? Why are we all that way?
I don't know. If it might not even be Spires of Stars in general, but I think that games that have, I think when you earn something, obviously earning something in a video game is way more exciting than just buying it, which seems to be like, I mean, Eververse is fully loaded every season, so it's like, but like this emote is one of those few things that was rare, and you had to work for it, and so you're proud of it, obviously, and you want it to feel special. Whereas, I mean, it's cool. Like I can see why people would want it, but I mean, there's other emotes. It's like if you wanted this one, like I guess you just had to earn it. And it's like
Anubu, I'm with you because I
they can use this
fly
one.
ships that I earned. I do not fly
Yeah,
ships that I bought. I
yeah.
fly the ones I earned. And there's just something about, it's like having your Letterman jacket from college or high school. You earned it, you wear it, and as Anubu said earlier, when you step out in it, people know you've been
Hmm.
somewhere, you did something, and you've got the proof. You brought the receipts.
Yep.
Now, Anubu, this will be my final question for you because I've taken up a lot of your time today.
It's all
Not
right. I'm
outside
enjoying
of,
this.
we're not gaming, we're chatting.
I love a
Are
good chat.
you a role model?
Am I a role model? I, I, I here's what I'll say. I think role model, like I don't think you should have a role model of anyone you don't personally know. I mean, like I'll be pretty open, and obviously you can build a relationship online, but I think a lot of people put faith in a role model of a lot of online personalities and these people where it's obviously an online. Most of the time, it's kind of their persona, and they may be a different person in real life, and you don't truly know them unless you talk to them daily and you talk about personal stuff. But I mean, I make mistakes. I have things that I regret, and I handle situations poorly, and I mean, you fall sometimes. That's just human. It's just human nature. So I don't know if I'm a role model, but I'm definitely always willing to talk, always willing to help, always willing to be there for someone if they need someone.
I hear you, Anubu, and you've always been that way with me. I did forget to bonus.
Bonus question, let's go.
This is a bonus question. Your favorite exotic weapon?
Oh man, D2 and
Just
G2.
one. A D2,
Oh
just
gosh,
one.
oh gosh.
Favorite exotic weapon?
Let me look real quick. I I'm I'm gonna be honest. I'm a kind of a sucker for just legendaries. I don't.
Well, now
But
that's a
if I
different
had it,
category. This is
I
favorite
know.
exotic. Favorite
I
exotic.
Let me go with. It's got to be Quicksilver Storm. I don't know. I love that gun.
Okay,
I
Quicksilver
find it
Storm.
satisfying, even after the nerf.
All right, and your favorite exotic armor piece?
I know it just came out, but it's got to be hazardous propulsion.
Love it.
Those
Wearing it.
rockets,
Can't.
those rockets are.
If I take it
I mean,
off, I miss it. Are you the same way,
like,
Anubu?
yeah, absolutely. Let me put it on there. There it is.
Yeah, if I take that off, I'm like, why did I take it off? And I have found myself in game playing thinking, why did I take that off? I need Exodus rockets right now. They're glorious.
Yep. They do so much
Now,
damage too.
Anubu, if you were just to say a legendary weapon, your one legendary weapon that you don't leave the tower without it, what would it be?
Had this been last year, it would have been Rufus's Fury because I love autos. It doesn't matter.
Rufus was
It just give me
good
an auto.
too. Oh, it was
But
so
but
good.
now, no hesitation. The healing auto rifle, it has become my new favorite. I'm a
Okay.
huge. Oh, there it is, right there.
And your favorite look out of armors that we've collected, earned in last past seasons? Do you remember one that you've actually just loved?
It's actually this one. I well, he's still working on it, but I did commission an art piece of this armor set, so I'm waiting for that to come in so I can make it my profile picture.
Oh,
But
Anubu, you
this
look
one,
good. Guardians, let's do a little bit of looking at Anubu. Anubu is a Titan human, currently at 1212. Absolutely looking fantastic. This set is from when? When is this set from? This look.
this was last season. The six. I don't know what season was last season actually. I don't remember what it's
And we
called,
played
but
it for
this is
over
from
a
Warlord's
year. We
Ruin.
all have it burned
Yeah,
into our memory.
I don't remember.
But I cannot tell you the names of seasons. I
Oh,
have to
Season of
go
the
back
Wish.
and
That's what
look.
it is.
You
That's the
look
one.
good though, Anubu. And this color shader, I'm going to give you points for pulling out a color shader that I don't see that often. Is this your favorite colors, or you
I
liked how it worked
so
on the armor?
I even in like real life, I am a huge fan of neutral colors, and I love any I love like the crazy armor in this game, but for me, simple kind of like tactical gear like this is like all I want. And I love the rope around the chest and the browns and the dark blue. I just think it works super well.
You could rappel
But
with this. You could go
I
rappelling with
could
this.
I would climb a mountain in this gear.
Anubu, what would you like to finish up with to our folks who are listening to the War Table chat and the folks in the live stream? What would you like to finish up with?
Wow. I don't know. I don't have much to say, but if you ever need help with something, if I'm on, hit me up. And also, you can join my clan if you want.
And are you clan founder?
I am the clan founder, so
And how many
clan
members do you
glass.
have now? Do you know?
We're at about 80 right now, so
Do
I got
you
slot.
separate? Do you have like a PvP and a PvE side, or does everybody need to be
Uh,
proficient at whatever?
you don't even have to be proficient. We're just looking for people that, like we pick up like new. I think our favorite thing to do is to pick up new players in the tower because it's fun to kind of watch them grow and just see them like get better gear and they like actually become like good at the game and then they'll ask for help in clan chat. It's just kind of fun.
And the
But
ones and twos over in the Cosmodrome, that's a good place to hang
yep,
out too.
go hunt there every once in a while, invite them to the clan, talk to them, run some stuff
Anubu,
with
I
them.
want to let you know direct. We need to tell this to more folks in our lives. You have been an absolute fantastic interview today, a delight to hang out with. I appreciate your directness and your willing to divulge information to us and to allow, the sit down and for me to record. This is being recorded, Guardians, and will go up on the War Table chat. Fallen Hero, thank you for keeping us company. I know that if a thrall had approached, you'd have taken care of it. Thank you for that. Anubu, I'm excited for the future of the game, and I know that I do reserve the right to talk
I,
about what I consider to be. We have someone inside the game that even though months, years we've known about her, we've spoken about her, I want to reserve the right to in game, during live stream or just another chat, talk with you about the ins and outs of the greatest villain this game has ever
absolutely.
known, Savathun. It
I'm
ultimately is
ready.
not the witness. It's not the witness. Savathun, she knew the witness and she knew the weaknesses that we would need to take advantage of to make our way in. She helped us all along the way, but I think things might take a turn for the worse. Thank you, Guardians. I'm Ransom Rider. This is my favorite game, Destiny 2. Thank you to Anubu, and thank you to Fallen Hero for hanging
Of
out
course.
with us. And thank you, viewers and chatters and supporters of the channel, for being here. Thank you, thank you.